Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Peach State Power Hour presented by UGAsports.com. And as always, M. Jones Heating and Cooling, a Rude Pro partner. There's Andy Stowe, Eddie from Acworth. I'm Paul Maharry. Glad to be here with you on this Sunday night. Not a lot of football going on, but there will be soon. There's a lot of transfer portal talk out there. Georgia hasn't landed anyone yet, but some have gone away. We'll talk about those that have left, who's out there to maybe take a run at, and then also really break down this Notre Dame-Indiana game because Georgia will be playing one of them here very soon. We already have Marshmut in the building. He was early. He always is. We appreciate him. Guys, if it's your first time watching, thank you so much. If it's your 50th time watching, we appreciate you coming back. Let us know in the comments section if you're here, and we'll shout you out on the screen. And also, your comments help move this show. I don't know how we're going to get through an hour tonight, guys, but we're going to try. We're going to try our best. We're not going to do too much time on the Falcons either, so we're going to try our best. But, Andy, how was your weekend, my friend?
It was pretty good. I just left the church. We had a little Christmas party for Christmas play, so the kids put on a Christmas play and had some food. So, yeah, good weekend.
Nice.
What
you up to, Eddie?
Not much. Enjoyed the Army-Navy game, which in years past was always the most awesome and depressing game at the same time because that was kind of the end of college football, right? But we got playoffs next week, boys. I mean, it's just getting started. But that was a great game. A lot of fun to see Navy. I'm partial to Navy. My dad was in the Marines, so I always root for Navy. But I thought that was a fun game. Really, really. Just those boys, if y'all read up on what those guys go through and like how, zero NIL, they just play for the love of the game. Yeah. They don't deal in the transfer portal. It's really unbelievable what these military schools do and go through and how they work their days. I don't know how they do it.
I did
Secondly,
see, okay.
No, go ahead, Paul.
No. I did see that there's a running back leaving from one of the service academies, and you can do that up until the end of your sophomore year. So folks are like, how is he getting out of that? You can leave. It doesn't happen often. Yeah.
The second thing is I was sitting around yesterday morning, and they replayed the national title, Georgia versus Alabama, the 33-18.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
and I just want to read y'all some names.
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, Kyrus Jackson, Jermaine Burton, A.D. Mitchell, and George Pickens. Compare that. Now we're going to get to Georgia. Just compare that to our receiving core right now.
I think everybody you listed except Rosemy-Jackson's in the NFL.
Is Jermaine Burton? Jermaine Burton's not.
Yes, he is. He is in the NFL. Yes, he's making some plays too. But that's just unbelievable to think about what we had for wide receivers catching the football from Stetson Bennett.
I'd rather have Marcus Rosemy. I love Marcus Rosemy.
I think Kyrus is also in the NFL too, I believe.
Is he with the Titans? Is that right?
Or he might be on a practice squad, but yeah, anyway.
I think he's on a practice squad.
We got Toombs McClendon in the building. That's a hell of a name, brother. We got Chet Summers. That's a hell of a name too. Good to see you, Chet. Name says, I wish this show came on at 8:30 so we wouldn't have to watch the Falcons tonight. Well, good for you. You don't have to watch it.
You don't have to.
Tomorrow night, Jermaine. Tomorrow night. You don't have to.
Monday night.
We will give a little preview, I guess, of that later on in the show. But to start things off, I know we have this Indiana and Notre Dame matchup here, but I kind of want to talk about the transfer portal first, and then we'll go to that. That's all right.
And Kyrus is with the Giants right now.
So he is
like on the active roster.
Hang on.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm on the spot.
So transfer portal leaving from Georgia. We told you last week there's going to be quite a few, and honest, it's not done yet, right? Transfer portal isn't closed for another 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Georgia will not play another game before the transfer portal closes, though. So that's interesting, right? Because you have this transfer portal, and then I believe you still have the spring transfer portal. So I'm sure that Kirby is trying to get all of his guys that he has on the roster currently to stay. And that in and of itself is a job. You're trying to re-recruit 85 kids, right? And so a couple of them slipped out of the way, though. Julian Humphrey, he's headed to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Jake Pope is in the transfer portal. Not surprising after dancing at Ole Miss that was coming.
Yeah, maybe he'll end up at Ole Miss and can dance around with his buddies, right?
Yeah, I don't know what.
And when the coach calls you an idiot, I think your time is done, right?
Yeah. I probably would have just. I would. I don't know. I probably would have just entered then.
He probably hasn't came back. Yeah, he's probably.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have stuck around, but yeah. Then you have Sam Mpemba. That one was a shocker, but not really a shocker. So it's a shocker in the sense, guys, that he's a 5-star.
Yeah.
We thought very highly of him, but he also came in, remember, with Damon Wilson and I can't think of his name, the other 5-star outside backer that's playing.
Chris Cole?
No, Chris Cole's a year after him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow. That's right. God, I can't think of his name. Terrible host. But there was 3 of them. Gabe Harris.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
And Mpemba just couldn't crack the lineup. You know, there's not much you can do there. He's going to be highly sought after, though, in my opinion. Somebody's going to see him. I think he probably stays around SEC level. Is my guess.
I wondered if he might go up with Fran Brown. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay, but I'm saying the SEC type level ball.
Gotcha. I thought you meant down here in the South. Oh, okay.
No, yeah. Fran Brown is reaching out to a lot of these guys apparently,
and he should.
Yeah.
Troy Bowles, another guy that came in with 2 other guys at his position, and he just couldn't get in front of them. He's out. Son of longtime head football coach Todd Bowles. Yep. He'll land somewhere. I could see him going to Syracuse as well.
Yeah.
Justin Rhett, a guy that we didn't talk about really at all, guys. After he committed out of Nevada, he kind of came and went, right? Got passed over in the DB room. This one is a shocker to me because a lot of guys are really high on him, and Kirby was on his ass a lot. Normally that means good things are to come. Jamal Jarrett, defensive lineman in the portal. That one stings a little bit. In the last 2, David Daniel, he was released from the program, but his last team was Georgia, and then Michael Jackson III, who was here and was here.
Not really.
He balled out in spring. Remember that? He played really well in the spring.
Yeah, he did.
So those are the guys that are gone so far. I would expect some more. It's not over, but also Georgia, I think, is going to eventually land a player back in return. Because right now you've lost this trade so far. If you're a trading guy, which one of these stings the worst in your opinion, guys?
I think Jarrett's the guy because you need that big defensive tackle, and we just don't seem to have that ready for next year. So I think that's the one that hurts the most because the other guys, like if the linebackers, I think you got guys that can play. That's obviously playing in front of them and it's coming up behind them as well. So I think it's Jamal Jarrett.
I'm going to go with Julian Humphrey. And I know he started a bunch of games and then it waned as the season went on. But that's playing experience, which is not something Jamal Jarrett had, right? And that's more depth at that position that, God forbid something happened to Dalen Everett or whatever. You can put Julian Humphrey back in with that experience.
I think too, Eddie, you bring up a really good point. I wonder if Julian hadn't pretty much checked out had he had a chance to get in the game. This past game for Georgia.
I think he would have been in that game. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes
snaps,
you wonder,
right? 0.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was already gone. Yeah, he wasn't there, right?
No.
Well, maybe it was the game before, the Tech game, whatever. It had gone from Texas, he was starting and played the majority of the snaps, to 0. I mean, that's what had happened. So
we got Al Tuttle in here. He says, glad Nitro changed his mind and is staying. Al, you got any insight into that? You got a same last name there. No, it's Nitro Tuttle.
I was like, what? I was like, what are we talking about?
It's a Sunday night.
Can I ask Paul, let me ask you a question. What is the latest that players from Georgia can get in the transfer portal?
I thought it was December 29th, but you also have this Scott Anderson, who I trust very well, says you get 5 days after your last game.
That's what I thought. That
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So I know what is the advantage of these guys leaving now? I mean, I understand they can get with another team, but they can do that anyway, right? What's the difference? I mean, you got a chance now to go to the playoffs and possibly get a ring. I mean, I guess in their minds, they don't care about that. But I would think as a player, you kind of care about that.
You know,
right?
Eddie, let's just say that you look at Eric Singleton. So he was, I think most people have him ranked the number one guy in the portal or one of the top, 5 guys. So
From
let's
Georgia
say,
Tech, right?
Yeah,
Tech.
correct. So let's say if you are a guy that's on Tech's team, who obviously you have no shot at winning anything, but say you're a guy that's in the playoff, but you say, you know what, if I don't leave now, then I won't be able to get on a team and I may just get stuck and get hung out in the portal. So I think it's a matter of you've got to beat the other guys to the portal and get on the roster quick. I think it's because there's only a few spots that you can take. So
this is a really good point from Scott. He says to enroll in classes, and Brett also says I think it has to do with academic stuff. That plays a big part into it.
I don't believe in that
school.
I don't believe in that. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with Caleb Downs was, hey, can they get him into school? Right.
Yeah.
And then they crossed that bridge and were able to get him into school. And then he spurned Georgia and went to Ohio State, where they also were able to get him into school. But I think that plays a factor into it. And also, like what Andy said, too, I saw a ridiculous number. I don't know if it's accurate. Over 6,000 kids in the portal right now.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There's not that many spots available.
I know. I was going to say.
I think that I really like, and I was joking about the academic. That is true, but I think it's more about getting a spot on another team because you have to get a spot or you may be sitting out a year. So and once they hit the portal, their team doesn't have to take them back. So if that's the case, let's say somebody, if Nitro Tuggle, for instance, if Kirby didn't want him, he'd say, hey, sorry, you're gone now. That scholarship, I'm going to use it on someone else. Yeah. So that's what I think. The academic part, it does count, but you guys know how much that counts. So
there's also a big thing with Georgia bringing in kids right now, because I touched on it early, was you have to re-recruit your roster.
You do.
And
that's huge.
You have a certain amount of money, right? You have to allocate that money. And so a kid, let's say you had, for instance, a perfect example is Eric Singleton.
Yep.
He was getting paid pretty good at Tech. Some rumors 350, some rumors 500,000, whatever it is, right? He wants to double that.
Yep.
He wants to leave and double that. So Georgia also has kids that want to leave and double that because of their performance.
Yep.
So now you have to allocate money to those kids. You have to also say, hey, who's going to the draft? Who's not going to the draft? What's Carson Beck's status, right? Mm-hmm. Because he has a lot of money tied up around him.
And you're saying that, and there's people talking and speculating that Carson could come back next year now with all the stuff. So who knows? I mean, there is speculation. There's a talk about that. I don't believe it's going to happen, but that's part of it.
But what I'm getting at is you have all these different moving pieces, and then you're trying to add on kids from the portal. You're losing kids to the portal. Because, I mean, Sam and Pimba, Julian Humphrey, Jamal Jarrett, they're not playing for free. So you did free some money up. Right, with those guys, but how much of your allotted, salary? And this is totally crazy. We're like talking about salary cap in college football, but that's what it is now.
There was
how many of these kids do you guys think came into Kirby's office? Let's just take Sam and Pimba. He comes in, he says, "I'm thinking about transferring," and Kirby's like, "Good luck to you, son. You just don't have a shot here."
I don't know.
I think Kirby's blunt in that way. He knows what's going on better than anybody in the program, right? And I think a lot of these kids come in and he's just like, they ain't got it here. They need to go elsewhere and play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there are tough conversations, and there's also tough conversations where kids come into his office and say, "Hey, I want more money," and then he has to determine, "Hey, is this kid worth, doubling up his
maybe that's what he said. Nobody knows. We'll never know, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Brant says, did you guys already say anything about Justice Haynes? Not yet. No, he entered. There's a lot of guys, and we've done a really good job over at UGA Sports of tracking guys that Georgia recruited and are in the portal now. Justice Haynes is one of them. I don't know if Georgia's in the running there. I'll be 100% frank with both of you and everybody watching. We've tried to get information on who they're targeting, and it is tight over in that building. There's no info coming out.
So do you think Justice Haynes, do you think he goes up to maybe a team that wears blue up in Michigan? Because I guess Donovan Edwards just announced that he is opting out. He's not going to play in the bowl game versus Alabama, which is the norm now. But I wonder, it just seems like he could be a guy to go up there because Michigan's going to want a established back. And Haynes did have good numbers. He's not necessarily.
He did. But here's the thing. Chet Summers says Haynes will want too much money. You already have, if ETN stays.
Right.
That's
what I was getting ready to say. It's too early to tell, is it not?
Yes.
We don't know what the Robinson guys are going to do. ETN could come back. Who's exhausted? Cass Jones is exhausted his eligibility at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
That's it, right? Isn't that it?
I think that's why I think Haynes doesn't end up here.
I agree.
I did think, because I think it's going to be about money. And I think at that point, if ETN does ultimately go pro, which I believe he will, then I just don't think we're going to, unless we have a couple of guys that we're not expecting to leave. So I think Justice Haynes ends up in Michigan. That's where my prediction is that he goes.
And just kind of going back to those guys that are leaving, really it boils down to playing time, Eddie. That's what it comes down to. It's just the playing time's not there for them. And got that from a reliable source. So we'll see. But it's all about money now, guys, and it's crazy that's what it is. But we'll see if who Georgia capitalizes on and brings in. There's going to be some guys. It's just Georgia has the money. It's just where are they going to use it to where he wants it? So.
Well, Paul, is there a guy out there that you say I really want the Dogs to get this, or not necessarily a guy, but a position? Let's say
I think the one position that everybody wants is a wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
That's you look at the roster now and you go, man, where does this guy play into it? I think Nitro coming back is huge. I think that's big, but Dane Key out of Kentucky, I like his game a lot. I like Singleton's game a lot too, but I don't know if I like Singleton. But there's a lot of good wide receivers that are entering the portal too. So, and there's still more time with this as well. There's a lot more time to I thought for sure after this weekend, like tonight, Sunday night, there would be just a slew of commits because guys would be on campuses visiting. And there really hasn't been as much as I thought. You've seen a couple guys commit, some quarterbacks, right? But not really as many as you would think with the, and I guess it's just because the portal's a little bit open longer. So
wasn't Singleton on campus at Georgia this weekend? Am I wrong about that?
No.
I thought it was coming up pretty quick. Okay.
It's coming up, but it wasn't this.
No, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. Georgia's not even in his top 5.
He put a top 5 out, and Georgia's not in it. So did he even visit Georgia at all, or did he just
supposed to? He was supposed to.
I think the money got out there and kind of washed that away. All anyways, right. That's enough of we'll leave the rest of the rumors versus fact guys. They do a lot better job than us on that, but that's our 10,000 foot view of all of that. Be interesting to see how it plays out. And I do not envy Kirby at all or any head football coach, especially if you're still in the playoffs, having to deal with this.
Hey, Bill Belichick, have fun with this crap. You're ready for an eye opener. You're going to get it.
Well, he's not going to be in the playoffs, though. So
real quick with Bill Belichick, here's the thing with him. He has full control of that team. There's no owner and there's no GM telling him what to do. He can do whatever he wants with that team, and that's what he wants. He wanted full control in New England. Now he's got it at UNC. Not saying that they're going to just jump up and look.
You're not dealing with pros. You're dealing with college and high school kids. This is a different animal. I'm very curious to see what happens with this. I mean,
I still kind of find it weird that he took the job. But
me too.
I did see that they said he reached out to the New York Jets to check on their job or something. And
before he accepted the position?
Before he had taken the job.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and then you land at UNC.
It doesn't make much sense. Like, you're Bill Belichick. Why would you go to UNC?
I guess figure it out, see what he does.
7 or whatever. How old is he? I mean,
he's up there. But it's also something to do with his son too, like a coach and waiting thing, stipulation. So
yeah, but still,
it is what it is. Lenny Longo says NIL is ruining college football. It's all about money now instead of love of the game. It was all about it's always been about money, Lenny. It's just
under the table.
This is just a little bit more out in front of it. This is a kid, real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
Cal's quarterback Fernando Mendoza, is UJ interested in him and vice versa? Yes, they are. If you go watch his tape, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
He's 6'5", 225, got a little bit of wheels on him. He's not going to run you out the gym, but he can run a little bit, and he's Chet Summers says his girlfriend goes to
I started laughing about that. Yeah. That's age. Is she drinking? Is she old enough to drink yet? Because
I don't know.
She can vote though, Andy. She can vote.
Well, that's okay then. If that's the case,
I hope so, Eddie. Dear God. Indiana and Notre Dame play Friday, December 20th. So it's coming up.
This Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night at 8 p.m. I don't know if you guys saw the weather predictions for these 4 games. I think 3 of them, except for the one in Austin, all 3 of them are in the mid-20s.
Yep. And
with one chance of snow, I think, did they say in Ohio?
That sounds right. Yeah.
And then down in Austin, it'll be 50 degrees and sunny.
Yep.
So it'll be cold. 3 cold games. I really want a snow game for a playoff game.
Awesome. So how do you, this is kind of off topic, but on topic. What do you think Tennessee, let's say Tennessee goes into the Horseshoe and it's snowing. How crazy will that be? How often do those Ohio State players play in it though? Not very. No. Yeah. It doesn't happen a lot.
They understand snow, right?
Whatever that means. Whatever that means.
They do understand it.
They understand
it. I did see something. It was the Ohio State's AD. He is begging their fans, do not sell your tickets to Tennessee fans. They're trying to take over our stadium. Please don't do this.
They have a thing out, Eddie, where they have checkerboarded the horseshoe.
They're wanting to checkerboard the horseshoe.
Look, not gonna happen.
I hate Tennessee.
There's a couple. Look, Eddie, there's a couple things that play into this. They do not want Ryan Day back.
No.
It is well established in that fan base. And I know many Ohio State fans down here in Georgia who are like, let's lose this game and be done with the season. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy.
They think that they're not going to win the national championship. So basically it's rip this Band-Aid off, let them take over the horseshoe.
That's not my thing to think about. That's insane.
It is. But think about this. Again,
you gotta have a sense of pride, and you can't let another team.
Screw them. They suck anyway. But think about if Tennessee went up there and white and orange checkerboard, dude, you talking about.
That's what I'm saying. If you're an Ohio State fan, you can't give up your seats like that and let them do that in your stadium.
I think it'd be hilarious. I hate Tennessee with a passion. I think it'd be freaking hilarious. I would love to see it be checkerboarded orange and white.
It's not gonna be. It's just not gonna be.
I'm hoping.
Beyond says, imagine that Rocky Top chant echoing in that game. It's gonna happen.
I know.
You're gonna hear it.
You're gonna hear it. There's no doubt about that.
But it's gonna be loud because they're buying the seats. Yeah. I think they're trying to do to Ohio State, and I don't think it'll get this crazy.
No, they are.
What we did to Notre Dame. That's what they're trying to do. We took Notre Dame Stadium, and they're trying to take. And they're trying to
playoff game. This is totally different than a regular season game.
I know.
How can you do that? How can you even think that? I mean, for the love of God, I wanted Rick to be gone, and I was rooting for us to lose to Georgia Tech because I wanted Rick out. That was a regular season game. If it had been the playoffs, I'd have been like, well, we got to win in the playoffs.
Well,
That's totally different.
I think their fans, I think they are saying, okay, we're not winning this thing. We know we can't win it. So let's just go ahead.
How can you say that? You don't know that. The college football's been nuts this year.
I know. Look, that's
I just know what I think. They think. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, come on.
We'll see in that game, though. That's going to be a. That's for me the most interesting playoff game. First round.
Oh yeah, sure. I agree with you 100%. 100%
for sure.
We've got 2 teams that'll be facing off. One of them will be facing off against Georgia. You've got Indiana and Notre Dame playing Friday. They're the only Friday game, right? They're 8 p.m. So
8 p.m.
All eyes locked in. The Dogs will play a winner of that game in the All-State Sugar Bowl January 1st at 8:45. And by 8:45, I mean about 9:30.
Yeah.
It's the third college game of that day. So just be ready for that game.
On the same channel. So it's not like you switch channels, right?
Yeah. So we know Brett Thorson's out for the year.
Yeah.
We do know that. That hurts.
Cool.
That hurts.
He's a dude. And I will say this, though. I looked up some of Drew Miller's videos, because, he was like the number 3 ranked kicker. Or number 2 ranked. He was highly thought of 3-star kicker. You don't get many 3-star kickers coming out of high school. He's having his hang time. He was averaging 4.5 to like 4.9 in hang time. Like
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I know anything about kickers and punters. If they kick it through the uprights, good, and if they punt it high and far, that's good too. It's about as much as I got for you, but that's still a tough spot for a freshman to step up in.
Because Thorson's a weapon for us. I mean, he would flip in the 100%. Field. Like, there's
not
been
only
games.
Is he a weapon kicking, he's a weapon tackling when he needs to, right?
There you go. Well,
That's true.
Maybe that's why he's not playing, because he broke
We
his
got
leg.
Big Hoss in the building. He says UJ should get Samto Cyril to play football in Bobo's system, Paul. We'll talk about that Georgia basketball team.
Blocking field goals?
I don't know. Maybe you put him out wide. Maybe I could run a little bit,
like a tight end, just like a jumping high tight end.
He's a beast. Right. He's a beast.
He's coming into his own too, boys. Like he's growing before our eyes. Yep. Big Hoss says fullback. That's great.
Yeah.
Notre Dame 60th strength of schedule. Their best wins this year, guys. If you haven't been following them, because I really haven't either. Louisville, they won 31-24. Navy 51-14. Army 49-14, and USC 49-35. That's their best wins. That doesn't scare me.
No, it doesn't.
Averaging around 420 yards per game, 200 in the air, and 225 on the ground. Averaging 40 points per game, though. Remember that bet we had last year, Eddie? The 40 points per game? You bought me a steak? They're right there. 39.8. 39.8 for them. But they are giving up 300 yards per game. Seems maybe a little high, but also not. 157 through the air, 140 on the ground. Averaging 13.6 points per game on the defensive side of the ball. Riley Leonard, we already know about him, guys. He can do it all, runner, passer. So that strength of schedule and their best wins doesn't scare me. Now, before we talk about them, let's just move quickly through Indiana. Okay. Their best wins. We've got Michigan 20-15 and Washington 31-17. They've got the 67th highest strength of schedule. Offensively, averaging 43 points per game, giving up 15 points per game, and they've got a kid named Curtis Rourke completing 70.4% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But he's not a runner, though.
He's not a runner.
Either one of those, I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but neither one of those, the best wins really stick out to me there.
Yeah. So Notre Dame has 4 wins against top 25 teams currently, and Indiana, as you can see, has none. The only thing that scares you to me of any of this is Riley Leonard's ability to run the football. But you look at what those guys are giving up on defense. Like they're giving up 140 yards rushing per game, and they're giving up 100 where they're giving up 175. Like, dude, we can run on. We were going to be able to run and pass on these teams. Like Indiana's giving up 250 yards a game. I mean, we can run and pass on these guys all day long. Only thing we have to do is keep Riley Leonard contained. We're going to smoke either one of these teams. It just seems like we're just overmatching these guys. Eddie?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Eddie, what you got?
Yeah, all those stats you just read through, Paul, the gauntlet we have gone through and what this team has had to do, iron chisels iron, that famous saying. Like I said to you guys last week, I don't care who we play at this point. I just don't. Yeah, I will say this, Andy, an argument to a little bit about what you said. I get the Riley Leonard running thing.
Yeah.
But IU is more of a threat to pass, 265 versus 196. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's our weakness when the ball's thrown in the air. Now, you take that a step back and say, okay, Quinn Ewers is more of a threat to throw the ball.
That's what I was about.
What did we do, right? He didn't move. We got after him. So there you go. There's the argument on the other side. But good Lord. Bring them both on. At this point.
Combine the teams.
Get a power team of Indiana.
Notre Dame. Bring them all on. I don't care.
I'm with you. I just think it's going to be, these are like a poor man's version of Texas, really. And Riley Leonard can run, but like Indiana's a poor man Texas, and we smoked them.
They've been touting Notre Dame's defense all year, how great this defense is.
Yeah, it looks wonderful.
Isn't Texas the number 2 or 3 defense in the nation?
They are. I think they had.
They're up there. They're up there. Okay.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 in most.
We blasted that team twice now. Okay, that's why I say iron sharpens iron. What we've done this year, and I just am not worried about either of these teams.
No, I just don't see it. But I'm almost come to. I think that Indiana is going to upset them. So right now they have Indiana as a 7.5 point dog, and everyone is saying Notre Dame's going to beat them. Notre Dame's going to beat them. I kind of think I was like, okay, what's going to happen? It's just like one of those weird things. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking Indiana may win now, just because. Not that I think they're better, but it's just kind of nobody gives them a shot. So
right.
That backfield for Notre Dame, I'm not going to lie to you, scares me.
Does it?
Riley Leonard and Love, yeah. It's a
But
two-headed monster.
We're best at that. I know the running quarterback gives us fits, but we're best at stopping the run. We are really good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
We'll shut the running back down. I'm not concerned about that. Riley Leonard can give us an issue, but again, they're only passed for 197 yards a game. If they're only passing for 197 yards against us, even if Riley Leonard goes off and runs for 75 and their halfback gets 75, if we keep them from rushing 175 or less, we're going to smoke that team. It's just not. They just can't do much. And again, we got a running quarterback now. So I mean, maybe we run it up on them.
Do you guys think the way this season has gone that let's just say we play Indiana. You're right, Andy. Indiana upsets Notre Dame. And everybody's like, oh my gosh. That's a team that is completely overlooked by Georgia, the fans, etc. Do you think the way the season has gone, they play down to their competition, and you look around and it's 10-3 at half, Indiana's up, and we're in trouble again? No?
I don't think so.
We've watched that all year long.
We have, but if Indiana beats Notre Dame, then they're like, oh crap, they can beat Notre Dame. And they're going to get up for it. So I don't think they're going to play down.
It's also the Sugar Bowl too.
It is.
I think that plays into it a little bit as well. I see where you're coming from with that, Eddie. You think they won't come out as hard against Indiana as they would Notre Dame because, and I mean the fans are going to have that exact same think track, right? They're going to be like Indiana. They're kind of the Cinderella team. Cinderella has to go home at midnight. The dogs are midnight, it's time to go home. Whereas with Notre Dame, it's like kind of like what I'm saying, that backfield kind of scares me a little bit. There's nothing with Indiana that scares me, but at the same time, if they beat Notre Dame, people need to kind of open up their eyes on that.
They would open their eyes, but I'm not, and I don't want this to come off as a shot at Carson Beck. I don't mean that, but I believe we are going to have a more running-centric offense, and I think we will be able to control the clock. And I think we will be, if it's 3rd and 6, I think we can rip off the quarterback can rip off a 7-yard run where we haven't been doing that, and a designed run. And so I think we're going to have more sustained drives. I'm not saying he's going to be able to pass as good, but I think I don't know. I just have this weird feeling like we are playing with house money right now. Like you got the new quarterback. It seems like everything's against us. And I think I think we blow out either one of these teams. I don't even think it'll be close. I think we'll beat either one of these teams by at least 3 touchdowns.
Okay. Jermaine King says it's the playoffs. That hasn't happened to Kirby teams in postseason games. He's right.
Yeah,
he is right on that. Yeah. We got Michael Turner in the building. What's up? We got CT in here. He says,
Chris Taylor.
Yeah. Now he says, does the win for Indiana against Notre Dame make them content? I think getting in the playoffs.
Didn't I just say that?
Did he say that?
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he didn't say
he's
that.
saying, he's saying,
I'm misinterpreting what he's saying. Go ahead.
He's saying like, Indiana would say, we just beat Notre Dame. That's our Super Bowl. This is awesome.
Make them content. I thought them as in us. Okay.
Clearly didn't say that.
Interpret that a couple of ways. Sorry.
Oh man. Ducati's in the building. Go Dog says, don't bet against Kirby with nearly a month of prep. Yeah,
I agree.
True.
We got John Bowe over there on Facebook says, get out of here. Gunner's a stud. You have to play. You're going to have to play him, troll. Because we had another comment saying you're going to have to overcome Gunner's.
I was like, what?
No. I think it is beyond interesting, and it sucks for Georgia fans because you're always going to have that what if. Especially if Gunner just doesn't have a good game. And there's no, I mean, how do you put this? The expectation of Gunner to come in here and win a national title for Georgia, I just seem as fairly unrealistic to put on his shoulders.
It is.
Seeing how he hasn't played, right? Now, it would be a hell of a story if he's able to do so. But to just put that on him like, hey, now that Gunner's here, we're going to win a national title. It's like, whoa, that's tough. And if Georgia doesn't win, there's going to be the what would have happened, right, if Carson was still around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those things we'll never know, but I think it's just to put that out there. It's unfair to be like, hey, Gunner's going to carry this team. He could. and it would be a hell of a story. But look at any other team besides Georgia. Take the red and black glasses off for a second, Andy and Eddie. Any other team has to go their backup quarterback.
I was going to say, what if Riley Leonard goes down in the first quarter?
Right.
Friday night?
Right.
What happens?
Right. Everybody's going to think they're done. Even if the only fans that are going to think they have a chance is Notre Dame fans because they know who their backup is. Tell me who their backup is at Notre Dame. Nobody knows.
No idea.
Paul Maharry.
Right. Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's just, don't put so much, I don't know, like weight on Gunner being able to do too much for them. Whatever he gives you, he is a plus, and I said it on the postgame show, and I'll say it again. He's not going to win you the national title. I don't think he's going to lose you at either, though.
And I think that's the difference. I think he's not going to lose it, but I have a feeling, maybe I'm completely wrong, that in one of these games, he is going to make a huge play running the ball, and it's going to win us a game. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think he's going to have to go out and win this game. I think we will beat either of these teams on defense and beat them easily. I think we will pound the ball with ETN and Nate Frazier, but I think he will go make a play with his legs that will. And again, we were talking. I was watching the SEC championship game, and it was I think it was Gunner's second drive, and we were about to go in and score, and Bobo called just a direct run, and we didn't have any threat of passing. I think 3 weeks from now, or 17 days, he's going to fake that run and have a pass. So I don't know. I have a feeling that we are going to see a lot of those RPOs that we haven't been able to see. So.
Go Dog says first play flea flicker to Arian.
Does Arian catch it?
We're not going down that road. We're not doing that. Garrett Key says, what's y'all's thoughts on ditching the highest 4 conference champ games, get buys, and just seed like the number one? Yeah, that's got to happen.
We're all in agreement with that.
Yeah, that's got to happen yesterday, I feel.
Yeah.
That was the wildest part of watching those playoff reveals. Was like, we've got number 3, Boise State.
Yeah.
And then they show them on the other side and like they're ranked 16th. It's like, okay. All right. I think you get rid of that, which I think you also make it to where like you can't have more than 2 teams from the same conference in the top 4, maybe something like some type of parameter maybe around that.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, what if they're the best? What if they're the best team?
How can you say that? There's just no exact science to this, but to lock them in to a bye because they won their Arizona State. Are you kidding me? They get a bye. I mean, that's right. Come on.
Right. Speaking of, I don't know, I was going to say buys, but that doesn't really tie into here. I was trying to do something cool.
They're going to say, speaking of stupid. That's what I thought you were going to say, actually.
No.
Eddie from Acworth is up.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of something not stupid is M. Jones Heating and Cooling.
All right.
Get them to take care of you. You've got 15 days before 2025 is here, 15, 16, whatever. I can't count days before 2025 is here and everything changes in terms of the HVAC and what they can do for you. They've got their number here. Their website is mjoneshvac.com. And then you just hit this contact button right up here, guys, and they bring you to the Connect With Us page. If you have any needs for repairs, thinking about getting a new unit before the end of the year, maybe a new unit for your business, write it off on your taxes. These guys can help you out. Matthew and Michael, huge dog fans. First name, last name, email address, phone number, and then in your message here, let them know you were sent to them by ugasports.com. Get 5% off your repairs and 10% off of all new installs. Guys, they've taken care of us all year long. They will take care of you all year long as well. And speaking of, M. Jones Offensive Player of the Year, M. Jones Defensive Player of the Year, and then the M. Jones Favorite Play of the Year, which I don't know if I have one because truly I have a brain of a goldfish. I can only remember certain things. But I do have an Offensive Player of the Year, and I went ahead and grabbed this one fairly fast.
Yeah, you did.
Because I knew there was a certain somebody in here who would want to snatch him up. And I did it before him, and I don't regret it at all. That would be Nate Frazier.
Yes.
The one Nate Frazier. True freshman Nate Frazier. Yes, he had some fumbling concerns, but to come in and do what he did on the offensive side of the ball, he is my Offensive Player of the Year. Didn't have as many stats as Trevor Etienne, but he played in some key games when Etienne was down, was relied on heavily. And stepped up. He's going to be an absolute freak, boys.
He is.
You got lucky you have 2 more years of him. And again, that's that whole player retention thing. You got to spread the wealth out a little bit.
Yep.
He's one guy that's if he comes in the office and asks for a little bump in his pay, you probably got to give it to him.
Got to figure out how to do it. Yeah, you got to change numbers. Yeah, stats don't tell everything about it. He is a freak. That guy is going to be a star.
So Nate Frazier was my offensive player of the year. Ooh, Chet has a good one, but I don't know who Eddie's is. Eddie, go ahead. I know who Andy's got. Who you got, Eddie?
Jared Wilson.
I like it.
The center.
I like it.
Highest graded lineman at 84 with over 400 pass plays, 0 sacks, 0 hits, and 5 hurries. I'm going to quote Brent Rollins. Okay, y'all. Brent Rollins, UGA Sports, does a great job. He's the highest graded center in the college football playoff era, or the second highest. Cedric Van Pran at 77.9, Lamont Galliard 78.2, Jared Wilson at 80. Do y'all know who the highest graded lineman is since 2015? Just take a guess. Y'all have
For Georgia,
or for overall?
For Georgia.
Andrew Thomas.
I was about to say he played left tackle.
Nope. Brandon Cublano at 86.5%. I know that one was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Is this from PFF?
Yes, this is from PFF.
Okay.
So.
Chris Taylor says that's big time, Eddie, and often overlooked.
Yeah, nobody cares about the center.
Jermaine King also says nice choice, Eddie. Here's one though that none of us picked. Chet Summers says Cash Jones. You could go there. You could make an argument, Chet. I thought maybe I was not expecting him. I was not expecting Eddie to go Jared Wilson, the center. I thought for sure he would have a skill player, but I took his.
I like those big uglies though. I like that.
Yeah.
Don't.
It's crazy. You picked one because I picked the guy standing right beside him in Tate Ratledge. When Tate was out, our offensive line struggled, and then when Tate came back, our running game got a lot better and our passing game's gotten better. I think Tate Ratledge is an unsung hero for the Georgia Bulldogs, and the healthier he gets, which he has 2.5 more weeks, I think our line's going to be that much better. I think Tate he's a road grader, and I think he has made our running and our passing so much better. So yeah, I thought about Jared Wilson too. Those are my guys. Like they were just, that right side just seems like it's really good. And also Monroe Freeland, let's not forget that guy. He's kind of shored up that left tackle. So, but yeah, no, I went with Tate Ratledge. I think he's been huge since he's been healthy.
Paul, can I do an honorable mention? Because I almost picked him.
Yeah.
Peyton Woodring, 47 of 47.
I knew you love your special teams.
That's who I thought you were going with.
20, I was that close. 20 of 22 on field goals made. He won us football games this year.
Yes, that's who I thought you were picking.
Yeah, he that's a good pick. Speaking of guys that were out and then made a difference coming back in, M. Jones Defensive Player of the Year. Andy, who you got?
Well, that's a very good segue, sir, because I went with Smile Munden. Smile Munden, again, he's kind of like that. He's like the quarterback of the defense. We saw that when he got healthy, he is running through and just killing people. And it's making all the other guys better. You see what's happened since he's gotten back and gotten fully healthy. You look how much better 13 is, 11. You look at all the other linebackers. I think that he's almost like our Pop, but just he's kind of running that defense now. He's like the guy that's there. He's the quarterback, and I love Smile Munden. I think he's been our most consistent defensive player since he's healthy.
That's a good pick. I'm going to take the easy road. Jalen Walker, Butkus Award winner.
Yes,
that's wild. Third one under Kirby,
but he's not first team All ACC,
which is he's not crazy. Jalen Walker, when he gets going,
yes.
I don't know if there's a better leader on Georgia's team, period. Like this team.
He can't be stopped when he gets going.
But he also has that true leadership ability of just like the team rallies around him. You see him yelling at the offense at certain points. Like he doesn't play games. And I'm so glad that Georgia was able to find a way to get him on the field because we've been wondering, hey, this guy needs to be on the field, but where does he play?
Yeah.
And he's just a athletic freak. He's going to be, I don't know, I would say maybe a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Really
And what was Kirby's quote? We had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with him playing something weird like that. Yeah.
Like he's going to be a top 10 pick, and some teams are going to shy away from him because he's kind of an off-ball / get to the edge pass rush guy. He's going to make a good bit of money. So that's my pick, Jalen Walker, and this team gels when he's going. So if you don't pick this guy, though, we do need to pick him as honorable mention. So who do you have, Eddie?
Okay. It may not be, and I think the term you were looking for with Jalen Walker is lathered up. That's what he lathered up, right?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. My pick is Scott Case. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Do y'all remember Scott Case for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yes. And why are we talking about him?
Dan Jackson.
Okay.
He's tied for second on the team with 46 tackles, guys. 3 passes defended, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble caused, and 1 fumble recovery. Just pin that in your head. And number 17 is always around the football, destroying people. He's a missile.
He's a headhunter. He is a headhunter, dude.
Absolutely. I love the way that guy plays football. And here's something to think about, guys. Is this guy going to get drafted?
I was just about to say that.
He's got a chance at it. What a freaking story. If Dan Jackson, as a walk-on, never got a scholarship, gets drafted in the NFL, he's got a chance, does he not, Paul?
I think he goes in the top 5 rounds.
So here's what's going to come, right? And I can already hear it. You guys can go ahead and quote this. So when it happens, go ahead and clip this. Jermaine King, clip this. What's going to happen is he's going to get drafted in like the 4th round. And
Fourth
or 5th round. He'll be yes.
And what Kuiper's going to say is, when I turn on the tape and I go to watch, 11 and 13, it's just 17 just pops off. Just 17. I can't get away from the kid. And, most teams, they couldn't get away from him either. That's why he's going to the Giants here in the 4th round. I mean, he's a little bit undersized. Yeah. He's a little bit older than the rest of the kids in the class. But I'm telling you, you go watch the tape on 11 and 13. Those 2 guys got drafted, top 10 picks. And the one guy standing out, 17, all the way in the back. That's the kid. That's exactly what they're going to say. That's exactly what's going to happen.
By the way, Paul sounded more like a Muppet than he did like an NFL
analyst. Muppet babies. He's going to make our dreams come true.
But I get the point, Paul. I get the point.
Yeah, no, he's great. The effort. But you talk about a little undersized. I see him, regularly, pretty regularly, like walking up and down the street. He is not a ton bigger than me. I'm a little short, I'm short as crap, and he's only 3-4 inches taller than me, so it's not like he is huge, but you're right. He's
is like 3 or 4 feet taller than I am, but he's not that big.
Hey, he's only like 5'11". I mean, he's not much taller than me, dude. So, but you're right. He's not a huge imposing guy, but he's a headhunter. That guy is, I'm with you, Eddie. He's been
right here. It's right.
He's been our dude. Yep.
That's where it is.
Yeah, and I saw somebody right from the Ringo. Yeah, Chet wrote all the way from the Ringo blow up. Yeah, he was wearing 47. Yep. He got drilled, and he goes to 17, and now
he doesn't make that block. He may not score that touchdown.
I know.
As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And it's also crazy, like Chet says, that he was in during that play, and now he's still
here. He's got a shot. He's got a shot to win 3 national champions. It's nuts. Yeah. So
who would? We're going to sound like idiots. Would be him and Truss. Would Beck also have a chance at 3 too?
Carson Beck would have 3. He was on the roster. Yeah, because Stetson was not going to be the starter. It was Beck and then Stetson. Right. Yeah, so that would be
Tate Ratledge would have a chance at 3 as well. There's a lot of guys who would have a chance at 3 rings.
Yeah.
All right, who's the honorable mention? Because you mentioned one, Paul.
Well, no, the honorable mention was going to be Dan Jackson if you didn't say him. So I'm glad that you did. So I'm trying to think, is there one that could be Michael?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a guy. What about Malachi Starks?
No. 97. Warren Brinson.
Ooh, Warren Brinson.
That's a good honorable mention there. Yeah. That's a good honorable mention there. Because Starks and Michael both get a ton of credit.
I think you could also throw KJ Bolden in there. I mean, as a freshman doing what he's done, it's unbelievable.
It is. Yeah.
M. Jones' favorite play of the year. Something tells me we're going to remember the one that you talked about, Eddie, because it's already been mentioned in the chat.
Yep. Go ahead, sir.
The Dan Jackson fumble, against Georgia Tech, that saved the season. And y'all know what I'm talking about when he missiled in there and that was targeting. It should have been 15 yards, right? I mean, come on, give me a break with that. So let me ask you guys a question. I thought about this when I was picking this play. What happens if Dan Jackson does not make that play? We lose that football game. Where are we now? Honestly, let's say we beat Texas. Where are we now? Are we playing this weekend?
Yeah, no, because you beat Texas. You would have won. Yeah,
they would have put us. They would have put us.
We get the bye anyway, right?
Yeah, still been the same.
But we probably would have been
where.
Like the fourth,
we would not be where we'd be in a bad
would have been
position.
Fourth. I think we would have come in at fourth. Yeah, but we would have still.
Where would that put us? Who's fourth now? I'm sorry, I don't have the rankings.
In Arizona State, right?
Arizona State, yeah, they're getting
so
by.
that path is not pretty. Right?
And it wouldn't have changed though. We'd have still went, but like we would have still played here because they would have stayed in Tempe. Probably.
Yeah, but here's the problem: that the game after that, you be playing Oregon.
Right, and that's the difference. Right. Yeah, I mean, it would have changed that.
Path is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right? you would have been on the bad side of the bracket. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it worked out. That was huge. Yeah. Well, I went back to play Paul that I thought was awesome.
I love this call by Andy. This is a great call.
Yeah, when we were playing Florida, you remember Dylan Bell? It was cut right down on the goal line, and Florida was actually leading 13-6 at the time, and it was not a great throw by Carson, and Dylan Bell just did that weird circus catch. He bobbled it. He holds on to it and makes a play. We score. Then of course, we ended up beating them 34-20. But if he doesn't make that catch, who knows what happens in that game? So no, and it was just a great play all around. And that was, after our guys have been sort of a little questionable catching the ball, I think that was a huge play. And I love beating Florida. So anytime we can do something good against Florida, I loved it. So
that's a great call.
I am a very big fan of recency bias, just because. And I do a 3-hour show after the game, and I try to. It all washes away fairly fast.
Yeah.
And Chet Summers brings us a good point. This is I don't know if it's my favorite play of the year. I don't know if it's the most important play of the year, but it's a play of the year that sticks out. Is the Lawson Lucky tackle on that Gunnar Stockton interception, because he had a convoy in front of him, guys.
He did.
He was gone. Lawson was the only one to stop that.
You talk about play of the year. That may be the play of the year.
It could very well be, because if Texas goes and scores there, I don't know what the score would be, but they would be up by. Georgia was up by 3 at that point, right?
Yeah, they were, and Texas would have won the game because they would have scored. They would have scored the touchdown. That was right there at the end of the game. Texas would have scored a touchdown, and then we wouldn't have got to go to overtime. So yeah, they would have won. So
yeah. And you're probably headed this weekend.
We're playing Friday night or something.
That, or you're either headed up to the Horseshoe.
Yeah.
As the 9th seed, if he doesn't tackle him there. So that was a really big play.
It was.
I was this close to picking Lawson Lucky in the toe tap.
That was the one I was thinking because of how the play Gunner rolls out and that's what I was looking at. But I was like, you know what? I do want to pick something that's not as recent. But yes, that play Lawson Lucky.
I appreciate you guys leaving the most recent ones from my my terrible brain. So.
You got it, dog.
Speaking of basketball, though, I'm telling you guys, you got to watch this Dogs team, man. Grand Canyon made the playoffs, made March Madness 3 out of the last 4 years. Dogs win against them. They start 9-1. First time they've started 9-1, I think, since 2001, 2002.
Gosh.
They've got 3 more teams to beat, lower level teams, get them to 12-1 before the start of the SEC play. They play Buffalo Thursday. And guys, this team is really fun to watch. And I know you guys are going to hate me. I know you're going to hate me. I really kind of like watching this team more than I like watching the football team. I'm just saying.
Whoa. Then the Georgia football team?
I like this team, man.
I understand what he's saying because it's
like
less
this team.
Stress. It's less stress. It's just
it's a lot less stress.
Yeah. I understand.
It's a lot less stress. I guess they're fun to watch, man. Like I'm leading from the front on this one, guys. The hype train, it's taken off, Andy. I really would like to have you come aboard. I've gotten Eddie. I've gotten Gary.
How many games have you been to this year? I have, but whatever. Anyway, go ahead, hype train.
I'm just saying, I want you to jump on, baby.
I'm just saying, I'm going supporting the team, and Paul's not. So whatever.
You live
like
like
I'm
5 minutes from there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I live like an hour away with two kids under 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I work right beside the basketball arena, so I walk over.
Yeah.
You
You literally
fall off your desk and you're ready to go. I mean,
Right.
in Stegman.
2 trips and tie your shoes one time, and you're inside Stegman. Like,
hey, I went. I'm just saying, I'm on this train with you.
He went. Okay, Paul. No more
yeah,
hyping.
I guess those people that went to the Braves games were more Braves fans than us because I didn't go to a
Okay,
Braves game.
You got me on that one. You did get me on that one. So.
No, this is a fun team to watch. They are 4th in the nation in blocks. And that Cyril kid is coming alive, dude. Before our eyes. Asa Newell in that game against Grand Canyon from like 9 minutes in the second half to about 2 minutes didn't play at all. They didn't need him. They were rolling without him on the floor. And they had a good rhythm with Abson and Cyril, and they didn't put Asa Newell in. And I was like, yo, you need to put Asa Newell in. And eventually they did. I was like, okay, there's enough kind of, playing with this. So we need him in there. But that team I'm telling you, that team's fun to watch. The problem for Georgia this year, and it's just like the damn Hawks getting the number 1 pick, just has to be this year that they get the number 1 pick. The SEC, guys, is absolutely
loaded. They're always the SEC is the best at every freaking sport. They're best at baseball and football and basketball. It's nuts, man.
Dude, the amount of teams in the SEC probably going to be tournament teams. And Georgia's gauntlet. If you go look at their schedule, Eddie,
I know.
If you get out of there 500, it is a true blessing, absolute blessing.
Yeah. I mean, but like you said, we should start. I mean, we got Buffalo, Charleston Southern, and South Carolina State the next 3 games, right? So you got to win those. You can't trip up. I mean, you can't trip up, and they won't. This team has not given any indication that they're going to trip up. That's 12-1 when you start Ole Miss, okay, on January the 4th. So yeah, Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Those are winnable games, I think. And then you play Tennessee. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Where is that game?
At Tennessee.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
Look, either way you look at it, guys, it's a fun watch. That's all I'm saying. I hope they make it to the tournament, but it's a fun watch. And Andy can attest to it. He's seen it in person.
Yeah, it was good. Like Asa Newell went off that night. I think he went 20-11 or something. Like he is a dude. So
but the difference is when we had what's his face, Ant-Man a few years ago, right? And
he didn't have any help.
My God. He was the only thing.
He was it.
Newell, if you take this team and say, okay, Asa Newell's all we got, that's not the case. This team is 10, 12 people deep and can rotate in guys, and there's no drop-off. That's the difference. And we haven't, as you said, Paul, we lead the nation with 4th in blocks. We have an inside presence. We haven't had that in forever at the University of Georgia.
Yeah, I found that stat all by myself. I'm proud of that.
No, you didn't. I wrote that on the stat sheet. So. I'm going to call that out.
Montgomery is going to play this Thursday too. He's the other transfer that we have yet to see. So that's good. And shout out to Garrett Key. He's a big time supporter of the basketball team. He's on the hype train with me. He's up there first class.
He's riding in first class.
I don't know about first class.
We got him in Comfort Plus.
Low class. Yeah, low
probably
class.
on the wing.
Hey, he's holding on though. He's hanging out there, if you know what I mean. The Falcons play tomorrow night versus the Raiders, and then on our show sheet here it says Eddie ... anything ? And I see Eddie sent it back without writing anything there. I will tell you, the Falcons are getting to play against old Desmond Ridder. He's the starting quarterback for the what are they? Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders, yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah.
If they lose,
I'm telling you, Andy,
it's going to happen.
if they lose to Desmond Ridder, dude, I don't know. I truly do not think I can watch another Falcons game this year.
It may be my last. And it's if they lose to Desmond Ridder, because we've seen how terrible that guy was.
And
if he goes and
that Raiders team is not good, Andy.
They got Brock Bowers though. So
they do, yeah.
He's the best tight end in football and one of the best just pass catchers. How about Ladd McConkey? I know it's kind of streaming, but Ladd McConkey, God, he's so good. But yeah, I don't know.
Said out of time on the Falcons. Yeah, we're getting close here. Yeah. Anything, Eddie? 15 seconds.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just beat the Chargers, who we lost to last week, 40-17. This division is over, guys. It's over. So tomorrow night, they need to go ahead and play Michael Penix, and they're not going to do it because Arthur Blank still thinks we have a shot at the playoffs. He's an idiot. We're going to play Kirk Cousins because he's $180 million, and we're going to see 3 picks, and Desmond Ridder is going to beat your ass, and I hope he does. I hope he does.
Eddie, is tomorrow night the last game that Kirk Cousins plays for the Atlanta Falcons?
It should be the last quarter. The first quarter, he should be out. Yeah, he's going to play the whole game. Fine.
Oh, man.
It says Bucks about to take the division. Yeah,
the Bucks have already taken.
I think it's over. I think it's over.
It's all but over, guys. Yeah. One thing that's not over, real quick before we get out of here. Oh, it's still got an error, Andy.
Oh, it's okay. Well, just go ahead. You got
tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow. You got Marist versus North Oconee. You going, right, Eddie?
Yep, I got my tickets. I'm going to go see Brent Rollins. We're going to hang out. I'm going to bust his chops, and we beat him for another state championship.
That's kind of messed up, Eddie. I'm not going to lie. His kid is a senior playing football, and you're just going to talk shit to him the whole time you're sitting next to him.
Yes.
Well, Paul, the good thing is there is high school football Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and
like
there's some big games.
Out, Paul. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh, so Eddie doesn't even have to watch the Falcons.
Oh, that's a good point.
No, I'm watching. I'm going to the Benz to watch a real football team.
How about that? That's funny as crap.
Guys, we appreciate you joining us on this kind of a
look at there. We filled an hour, Paul. You didn't think we could do it.
I didn't think we could do it. Yeah. Guys, we appreciate you so much. Next weekend, we will know the fate of these Georgia Bulldogs, who they will be fighting against in the Sugar Bowl. Real quick, guys, Andy and Eddie, who's winning Indiana Notre Dame? Put your dollar down.
I'm going to say Indiana. I like what Andy said. I think that's very interesting. It's all week. Notre Dame, Hail Mary, Jesus. They're going to win big time. Indiana wins this football game. I think Andy's right.
I think Indiana's going to win. It just seems like, again, when I was talking about the Dogs playing with some house money, I think Indiana's playing with house money, and I think they're going to upset touchdown Jesus, and then they're going to come down here to the Bend.
I agree. I think that's a great
beat
call.
the brakes off of them.
Signetti may knock that statue down if he wins.
And they may knock it down, but there's going to be he's going to get embarrassed in the Sugar Bowl. But I think they're going to pull the upset, because all you see, like I was reading some articles earlier, is like, how can Indiana keep this game close? Like, my God, it's not like they're playing the Super Bowl team. So
I'll go Indiana too. 3-0 sweep here. Yeah. What? I got to. I don't want to see Riley Leonard. Don't want to. Guys, we appreciate you so much. He holds up the bracket. All right, guys. Hey, no, change it out, Andy. We just changed it.
Okay.
We just changed it.
Can't do that.
Yeah, we can. The game hasn't started yet.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want to do.
Yeah. We all three just went Indiana. Why are we still having the game down?
Like I can change the rules in fantasy football. Same thing.
What a terrible league. Hey, shout out to your son for beating me in a joke of a league. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.